Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Tuesday, lesson 19. And yesterday we read the poem, The Red Wheelbarrow, and we were able to create some poems. Today I want to reread it and make sure that we understand the structures of a poem. So the red wheelbarrow. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rain, water, beside the white chickens. So we said that it was talking about chickens and rain. There was a red wheelbarrow and a hashtag. So remember, our hashtag is a summary of what we just read. So we put transport things from one place to another because we know that's what a wheelbarrow does. Now, the setting, boys and girls, we inferred that it was in a farm because there's chickens and rains, and we know the chickens are outside, and I know that it rains outside, so we know it's outside. The speaker didn't tell me this, but I made an inference. And then we found 8 lines. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we also established that there was 4 stanzas. Remember, stanzas are like little paragraphs. So there's one right here, lines 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 is another, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So yes, there's 4 stanzas. And line breaks. Remember, line break is where usually your little finger fits. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. We do not count the bottom. So there's only 3 of them. Now, the speaker, why did he write this poem? So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rainwater, beside the white chickens. Boys and girls, do we have a character? So the character would be the speaker, right? Or the poet. Do we have a problem? Is he telling us a story? Is this poem making us laugh? Is it humorous? No, right? It's not making us laugh. It's not humorous. How about lyrical? Is he expressing his feelings? Does it sound like a song? So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chicken. No, right? He's not telling us his feelings, or he's not expressing his feelings. What about free verse? So for free verse, remember, we have to see if anything rhymes. Depends and upon. Do any of those 2 words rhyme? No. What about wheel and depends? Does that rhyme? No. What about wheel and upon? No. What about barrel and depends? Does not. What about barrel and upon? No. Barrel and wheel? No. So far we have a free verse. Rain and depends. Do they rhyme? No, they do not. Rain upon? No. Rain and wheel? No. Rain and barrel? And rain and water? No, they don't rhyme. Let's look at the last 2 lines. White and depends. No. White and upon? No. White and wheel? No. White and barrel? No. White rain? No. White water? No. And chickens. Chickens and depends. No. Chickens upon? No. Chickens and wheel? No. Chickens and barrel? No. Chickens and rain? No. Chickens and water? No. And chickens and white? They do not. So this, boys and girls, is a what type of poem? The one that doesn't rhyme. It has no internal rhyme scheme. It has no end rhyme. It's a free verse. So good job if you said free verse. Okay, so make sure you have your daily comprehension in front of you. I'm going to give you 15 seconds. So 15 seconds. This is the one that says Monday. You have 10 seconds. Okay, boys and girls. 3 seconds. And time is up. Okay, so boys and girls. Upon a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rain, water, beside the white chickens. Boys and girls, when we create mental images, that means the author used a lot of sensory details. For example, we can see, if we were to close our eyes, we can see color, we can see texture, we can hear rain, we can hear footsteps, we can smell food, maybe like a chocolate cake, we could taste a chocolate cake, we can touch rain, and we can feel what the speaker or the author is trying to tell me. So let's see. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. So boys and girls, if you were to close your eyes, what would you see? you would see a red wheelbarrow. Good. So the speaker didn't just tell me a wheelbarrow. He told me a red wheelbarrow. He was specific in the color. So if I close my eyes, I can see red. What else can we see? The rainwater, right? Yeah. So we know that it's outside. We know that it probably rained. And we can see the rainwater. What else? He was also very specific with another color. The white chicken. So on this first one, we're going to go ahead and write red wheelbarrow, glazed with water, white chickens. Remember, mental images is anything that the author uses or the speaker uses. They use a lot of sensory details, and that's just to emphasize, give you an idea. If you close your eyes, you can see all of that in your head. So I'm going to give you 45 more seconds to copy that. Once you're finished, start thinking about what could you hear if you were there with the speaker, William Carlos Williams. What can you hear? You have 30 seconds. $15 seconds. So what can we hear, boys and girls? What should we be able to hear? So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow placed with rainwater beside the white chickens. What should you hear? You should be able to hear the rain, right? Because it's outside, the setting is outside, you can hear the rain. Good. What else? The chickens. Yeah, so the chickens make noise, and I know for sure I can hear those chickens. There's no way that chickens are going to be very quiet, right? What about what about for smell? What can you smell? I know that the setting is outside. So what could we smell? We can smell the rain, right? Usually when it rains, we can smell the rain. It smells really good. We can also smell the dirt, right? It's kind of like when you go outside and you're like, oh, I can tell it just rained, because you can smell it. The rain and the dirt, a mixture combined, and it creates a special smell. Now, what about for taste, boys and girls? Can we taste anything? Technically, yes, right? We can taste the rain. Is there anything we can taste? No, right? Okay, what about for touch? I know the speaker used a lot of sensory details for touch. What were they? So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow placed with rainwater beside the white chickens. I can touch the red wheelbarrow. Good. What else can I touch? I can touch the rain for sure. What else? And the white chickens. Good job. So good job if you're answering all these questions. You're getting very good at mental images. Remember, the purpose of this is when you close your eyes, you should be able to see it in your head. Everything the speaker or the author is trying to tell you, you should be able to see it in your head. Now, what about feelings? How is he feeling? So here I want you to write the speaker or poet. Remember, it's the same thing. It's a synonym. The speaker or poet is feeling blank. How is he feeling if he's saying, so much depends upon a red wheelbarrow placed with rainwater beside the white chickens? How is he feeling? He's feeling very dependent, right? On what? And the wheelbarrow, right? Maybe he has a lot of work to do and he's saying, oh my goodness, without this wheelbarrow, I wouldn't be able to move anything. Maybe the dirt, maybe whatever he was doing, he has to carry it there because it's heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 30 seconds to complete that sentence. How is the speaker feeling? I know he's not feeling excited because he's saying so much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. So I know he's feeling dependent about the red wheelbarrow. You have the last 15 seconds. Remember, you should have the book Love That Dog in front of you. And we are in all the way to the back behind page 86. They don't have a page number, but after you flip the page of page 86, it says some of the poems used by Miss Stretchberry. When you flip the page, you'll be able to see the red wheelbarrow. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Make sure you have this one in front of you. So all you have to do is flip it. Now let's look at the book. It should look like this. Love That Dog. First of all, boys and girls, what is the title of this? It's Love That Dog. So go ahead and write title, Love That Dog. What do you think this book will be about? So this is where we start predicting. Let's do a book walk. So once we open it to the first page, I see a dedication. I see, what is this called, boys and girls? I see an illustration. I see the name of the author or the speaker or the poet. As I keep going, I see several dates and I keep going. Okay, so first of all, I stumble upon the first page and I automatically see Jack. So I know I have a name of a character. Then it says room 105, Miss Stretchberry. So boys and girls, we can already start inferencing that this book or this novel or this poem is going to take place where? Why would I have a room and say Miss Stretchberry? It's probably in a classroom, right? So it's in a school setting. Now it has a date, September 13. And then I keep scrolling down and I see another date, September 21, September 27. And as I keep doing a book walk, that means as you keep flipping the pages like you are and you should be doing right now, I see a lot of dates, boys and girls. So the speaker or the author wrote this book. How, boys and girls? They wrote it by dates, right? Kind of like a journal, maybe like a diary entry. So here, I'm going to go ahead and let you write. This selection will be about. So what do you think it's going to be about? So if you want, I recommend that you go all the way to the back of the book. So here I don't have it because it's just a copy. But in the back, it tells you what the book will be about. So I'm going to go ahead and give you 30 more seconds. What do you think the selection is going to be about? Do you think it's going to be about a dog? Maybe a teacher? Maybe a student? Love That Dog. And of course, once we've read it, you can confirm if we were correct. Now, boys and girls, what text features did we say? So this is called the title, right? Love That Dog. And then we said this is called a illustration. So let's go ahead and write that on text features. We also see what? I see a heading, right? So here when I go to the date, this is considered a heading. It's right here. Now remember the structure, that means the way the author or this poet wrote it is how? Kind of like a journal entry, right? Like a diary entry. So I'm going to go ahead and write a free verse because it also looks like a poem, boys and girls. You see this? So here my finger would fit if I was to put it right here. That means that's a line break. And then this looks like a little paragraph. So this is actually one stanza and this is second stanza. And then as I keep going, there's just one stanza on that one page. And I'm going to go ahead and give you time, 30 seconds to write this. It's a free verse poem and it's written in a diary form. Diary or a journal form. Because every single page is a different date. So I'm going to give you 30 more seconds to write that. Remember, you should have your book in front of you. 25. 20 seconds. Remember, anything that I do, you do. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. You have the last 5, 4. All right, and let's go ahead and move on. So we are on lesson 19, boys and girls, and student will be able to explain the structure of the poem Love That Dog. So we're going to try to explain, why did the speaker sit down and write it in this form? Why did he write it in dates? What is so important about those dates? So we're going to identify the structure of the poem, the lines, the stanzas, the line breaks. If there's rhyme, type of poem. Remember, the type of poem, it could be narrative. Is it telling us a story? Is it lyrical? Is it expressing the feelings? Does it sound like a song? Is it humorous? Are we laughing? Or is it a free verse? That means that nothing rhymes. So how are we going to do that, boys and girls? We have to number the lines of the poem. we have to label the stanzas and line breaks, and we read the poem. We can't just read it once. Remember, we have to read it a total of 3 times. And our hashtags could also be an illustration. So what is so cool is that we get to do illustrations. So let's go ahead and start. Our focusing question, remember that's the question we're going to answer at the end of lesson 29, is how do the characters of Love That Dog show characteristics of a great heart? Remember, if I say you have a great heart, do I mean literally or figuratively? I mean figuratively, right? Because I'm not actually touching your beating heart and I know that it's healthy. So I'm talking figuratively. I'm talking about your feelings. So we are going to start on page 1. So remember, page 1 is the one that said Jack, and it's labeled September 13. So you're following along while I read. Jack, room 105, Miss Stretchberry. We already started inferencing. It's going to be in a classroom. It's going to be in a school. September 13. I don't want to because boys don't write poetry. Girls do. Oh, boys and girls. How is the character feeling right now? He's feeling very negative, right? What is he saying? What doesn't he want to do? He doesn't want to write poetry. Why? What does he think? That girls should do it. So he's saying, I am a boy. I don't write poetry. Girls do. Let's keep going. Oh, September 21st. I tried. Can't do it. Brain's empty. So what happened, boys and girls? We went from September 13 till September 21. What happened? Did the author change his mind? I'm sorry, the speaker change his mind? Absolutely not, right? Jack, we can already start inferencing. Jack is being very negative. It's been a couple of days later from September 13 to the 21st, and he's still saying, nope, can't do it. I tried. Brain's empty. So he's still being very negative, very uncooperative with the teacher, right? Because remember, we started inferencing. It's a room 105 with Miss Stretchberry. September 27. So there's a couple of days in between that the author or the speaker didn't tell us. I don't understand the poem about the red wheelbarrow and the white chickens and why so much depends upon them. If that's a poem about the red wheelbarrow and the white chickens, then any words can be a poem. You've just got to make short lines. Look what the speaker did here, boys and girls. On September 27, what happened? What poem did Jack read? So Jack read the same poem that we just finished reading, right? The poem about the red wheelbarrow. So look what he says. I don't understand the poem about the red wheelbarrow and the white chickens and why so much depends upon them. So boys and girls, is he making a connection to the poem? No, right? So he kind of just read it. He didn't do the connection to sensory details. He didn't ask himself why the author or the speaker wrote that poem. All he's saying is, I don't understand it. And then look what he says. If that is a poem about the red wheelbarrow and the white chickens, then any words can be a poem. You've just got to make short lines. What's he doing here, boys and girls? He's trying to make a point here, right? Then he's saying, wait, if that's a poem, then anything can be a poem. And is that true? Yes, right? Anything could be a poem. That is a cool thing about poetry, that there's no rules. So this one, he already has 2 stanza here, and look what he did. He did his lines shorter. He's trying to emphasize or make a point that you've just got to make short lines. All right, let's go ahead and move on. October 4. And that's my birthday. I love that day. Do you promise not to read it out loud? Do you promise not to put it on the board? Oh, boys and girls, we can start inferencing that what happened. Remember, at the beginning, he didn't want to write a poem. But now look what he's saying. Do you promise not to read it out loud? Do you promise not to put it on the board? What happened? What did he do? We can infer he wrote a poem, right? Oh, and who's he talking to? He's talking to his teacher, remember. The setting is school. So he's saying, you promise not to put it on the board? Do you promise? Look what he's saying. Do you promise? Do you promise? He's repeating. He's making a point. Don't do it. Are you sure? Promise. Okay, here it is. But I don't like it. Oh, boys and girls, yep, we were right. He wrote a poem. So much depends upon a blue car, splattered with mud, speeding down the road. Boys and girls, are these letters the same as the ones on top? Stanza 3 looks different than stanza 1 and 2, right? How is it written? And italics, right? So when the speaker or the author does this, because they're trying to make a point, they're trying to emphasize. So Jack here wrote a poem and he's trying to emphasize that so much depends upon a blue car splattered with mud speeding down the road. So what can we infer about the blue car? Remember, the red wheelbarrow speaker said so much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rain beside the white chickens. So what can we say? That something happened, right? There was a blue car and so much is depending on the blue car. I know that the speaker, Mr. Williams, for the red wheelbarrow, he really needed that red wheelbarrow to make anything move, maybe to carry things. So Jack is depending so much on a blue car. And look what he's using. He's using a lot of sensory details. A blue car, splattered with mud, speeding down the road. So boys and girls, you can close your eyes and you can literally see a blue car, splattered with mud, speeding down the road. So is the car going slow? No. Is the car clean? No, it's splattered with mud. And what color was the car? It was blue. He's using a lot of sensory details. Close your eyes one more time and let me read that to you. So much depends upon a blue car, splattered with mud, speeding down the road. What did you just see? You saw a blue car, dirty with mud, going very fast, right? Maybe in front of your house, maybe your neighbors, but it was going very fast. Okay, flip the page. We're on October 10. What do you mean? Why does so much depend upon a blue car? You didn't say before I had to tell you why. The red wheelbarrow guy didn't tell why. So Jack at the beginning, he was being very negative, right? He didn't want to write poetry. And then later he was like, okay, fine. And he wrote the poem. Remember, when did that happen? October 4. But then what happened on October 10? He's questioning. What is he questioning? He's probably questioning the teacher, right? What do you think the teacher is asking him? Look at what he says. What do you mean? Why does so much depend upon a blue car? So what is the teacher questioning him? She's questioning, why did he write the poem, right? She wants to know why. And look what he says. You didn't say before I had to tell why. The wheelbarrow guy didn't tell why. So he's questioning. So he went from being negative to writing a poem to questioning the teacher. Okay, boys and girls, before you go, make sure you have your Tuesday daily comprehension in front of you. And I want you to write this question. What is the key idea of pages 1 through 5? So remember, key idea, since it is a literary text, we are no longer reading an informational, it is a key idea. So circle key idea. So it is what those pages are mostly about. So what is the key idea of pages 1 through 5? Once you finish writing that question, I will see you in class and we will do this in class.